Hello everyone and welcome. Maxime here. So here in this video I'll give you my quick thoughts on the games I played in February 2022. I played again 25 games, which is quite high actually. I checked the previous months and I'm usually around 15 to 20. So good months again in February. So let's start. Played a tons of Magic the Gathering. I had one evening and one whole day playing Magic the Gathering Commander with my friends. It was great. We played a bunch of games. We played one day with just 3 players, so it was really fast games. I think we played 12 different games, which was great. Great day, great day. Next, I played Marvel Champions. Marvel Champions, I play with my son, so I love playing that because I play it with my son. And it's a co-op game where you fight up monsters with superheroes. It's pretty cool. We already prepared the next deck, so the next deck I'm gonna be Doctor Strange, and my son decided to be the Scarlet Witch. So we're gonna do that. We prepared the deck and probably will play this weekend, so that's gonna be great. Yeah, Marvel Champion is great. I also bought again two new boxes that should come in the coming months. I think Guardian of the Galaxy box and then the Sinister Six box or something like that. Yeah. Next one, Cartographers Heroes. So that's the follow-up to Cartographers, which is a good game. I really like it. It's one of my favorite roll and rides game. Well, flip and ride game. In this game, you basically get a map, and then based on the tiles that come up, you can draw different kinds of terrains. This looks really ugly, and I really recommend you to get just colored pens. If you play this game, it's way easier and looks way better than just having to draw like small houses in every square. So this is the new version of that. What does it change? Not much. That's why I gave it a 7. I think I gave Cartographers an 8 because it didn't add much. I felt like I bought the same game again. You have the heroes, which are a little bit special. You have new monsters. The only good thing about it is you have new objectives. So the objectives are those A, B, C cards you see here. And basically, the first season you score A and B, and then second B and C, and then C and D, and then D and A again. So having those new objectives is cool because it gives you new challenges to work together, and I think you can just mix them up. So that's cool. It's more variety, but it's the same game. There's nothing new about it. Just the heroes are a little bit. You can fight off the monsters. It doesn't add much, but it's always still one of my favorite flip and rides game. Then we played the best game ever, the Isle of Cats. So that's my favorite game. It's my #1 game. Usually I like more complex games. The reason this game is my #1 game is it has drafting, which I love. I played Magic for many years, and I always love drafting. And here we have a big draft aspect in the game. And then you have tiling, like Tetris style, which I love as well. So those two mechanics are really great. And what makes this game awesome is you can play it with almost everyone. The weight is not very high. It's 2.3 on BGG, so you can play it with almost everyone. We played a 5-player game with 4 new players, and it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. I think everybody had fun, and everybody played actually quite good. And yeah, I won, of course, because I mean I've played this game so much that I'm awesome at the game. And yeah, it was just fantastic. So this is the boat, and you have to fill your boats with those cats. Basically, that's the game. But you play it with cards, so you have to get to lure the cats with fish, and then you need to have some baskets to put the cats on the baskets, and then you can put it on your boat. So that's thematically it makes sense. Well, what does make sense is that there is an island full of cats, and there is a pirate or whatever that goes there and wants to kill every cat. That makes no sense, but it doesn't matter. It's great. You're gonna just get those treasure which help you to fill the different areas of your boat, because once you fill them you get more points. You make family of cats of the same color, you get points. And then you have mission cards. I don't know what they called it, but those are like hidden cards that you draft them, and then yeah, maybe you need like 5 red cats, and if you get 5 red cats you get 8 points. And those are very important, and this is where the drafting is very important. And you can actually get a lot of points by doing that. And knowing when to pick what and how to play is the difficult part of the game. But the rules are pretty straightforward. I love this game. It's awesome. Really happy that I could play it again. Next one. Oh gosh, not so great. Had high hopes for this one. So Euthia, or yeah, Euthia, I don't know how to call it, is a game where you explore a map, you fight monsters, you trade, you get new items, you get new skills, you go mining for stuff that you can sell. It sounds pretty cool, right? And it is pretty cool. But, so in this game, I think this game was not designed for solo mode, and I played it solo. So the game has a solo mode, but it was designed in a way that it doesn't work for solo mode. So when there is a monster, basically you fight by rolling dice, okay? You have your weapon, and your weapon will do, like, if you roll 2 to 6, you do 1 damage, and then 7 to 10, you do 2 damage, and 11 plus, you do 3 damage, for example. So that's pretty cool, and you roll the dice. Sometimes you can manipulate with those small tokens. You can manipulate the die, re-roll, and get like +2. So that's pretty cool. And then when you fight the monsters, they have also they roll dice and they do damage. But your opponents over the time of the game, they will gain those cards here, the silver and the gold cards. And those cards, they can mess up the combat, and that's the fun part. Like, you can late game mess up the combat with using your skills that you have here, and maybe some of your items you can increase a little bit your dice roll and stuff like that. So those cards are pretty cool. Like, for example, I'll give you a simple example. One card says, like, if you roll 6 or plus, you will do 1 additional damage. Pretty straightforward. So if he plays that card and he rolls a 7 or an 8, he will do 1 damage more to me. That's pretty cool. And the gold cards, they are really strong. You have to be very careful, and you can combine them. So if you have like 2 different gold cards, actually 2 gold cards that are the same, there is actually a level 2 of that card. So you play the level 2 effect, which is even stronger. Great mechanism. I think that would be a lot of fun in multiplayer. Well, in solo, they try to mimic that, which makes sense, and it works. Okay, so you reveal cards, but, and that's where my frustration comes in. Those cards, you actually gain them as a reward. But in the solo mode, every time you gain one of those cards, well, the automa, so the bot, your enemy, also gains this card. So your reward is no longer a reward, because you basically gave those cards to the opponent, because you cannot use those cards because you never have any monster to control. So those cards are useless for you, and they're like 4 cards is worth 1 coin, which is nothing, which makes no sense. So that means that you gain like fake rewards, which is stupid and makes no sense. The second thing I have a problem with are those tokens. You have those, what they call the guard tokens, those blue ones below. So when you fuck up your roll and you roll like 1 and 2, you will do almost no damage. Okay, you can pick up the dice, use one of those tokens, put it in a play, and you can re-roll the die, and it will give you +2. Great way to mitigate the damage, the bad rolls. A great way. So you re-roll, maybe you roll a 3, so +2 it's 5, and now you have 7, and it's okay. Sounds great, right? Well, the bad thing is that, well, you do that the first fight, the second fight, but then you ran out and you don't have those. And those are not easy to find. You can only buy them in the level 3 buildings, which I actually never freed. I played 7 games of this. I never freed a level 3 building. And that's the only way we can buy them. You can sometimes find scrolls on level 2 buildings, but this is random. So there are always 4 tiles available that are like the weapons, the stuff you can buy. And those are fully random. So sometimes you get them, sometimes not. You can pay money to refresh, but they're like probably like 40 or even more of each stack. So there are a lot of different items you can buy. So to find the right scrolls that give you those, it's not that easy. So that's that. And then it's like I read in one of the forums, I read that, well, some people say it's a good strategy to actually go and fight a monster that you know is going to kill you. Because one, he's gonna use the cards here, because the gold cards, they hurt a lot. So if you fight them on a monster, he kills you, but then you get rid of all the cards, and then you can fight the next turn another monster that you can actually win against. And when you die, you come back and you get 3 of those tokens back. In which universe is dying a good strategy? That's a universe where the design is bad. That's my opinion. And that's why I gave this a 5. This game is a good game. The solo mode sucks. And there are some really big issues with this game. Like, dying should never be a good strategy in this kind of game. It shouldn't. It just shouldn't. In some games, when you die, the game is over. You lost, which makes sense. Here it's a dice rolling game, and I get the concept of, yeah, you might die because they messed up with the cards and so on. It makes sense, but it can never be a good strategy. So, and you get like you lose 2 points or something. When you score like 40 points, it doesn't matter. 2 points don't matter. So you lose 2 points by dying, but then you get 3 of those guard tokens, which is great, and maybe you got rid of 1 or 2 gold cards, which is also great. It just blew my mind, and it just makes me angry. I'm really disappointed. I really had high hopes for this game. A lot of people compare this to Mage Knight. I've never played Mage Knight, but I played a Star Trek version from Mage Knight, which is somewhere up there, which is a wonderful game. And well, it was compared to that. It's not. It's not. The concept is so good. You get the skills that when you level up, you can buy some skills and stuff like that. It's good. The elemental that kind of mess up with the combat, it's cool. The mines where you get stuff, it's cool. But the fighting system with the gold cards in solo mode, it's not so great. And having yourself to go and kill yourself just to get rid of this is just stupid. And it really made me angry. So I'm really disappointed. I put a 5 on it. So that's that. Okay, let's go to better games. Seven Wonders. We played Seven Wonders. It's the first time ever I played Seven Wonders. It was great. It's a great game. It's a drafting game. I like drafting. I love drafting. It's very simple actually, so everybody can play it. I think that's why it has a huge success. When was it? 2010. It's great. I want to play it again. I think there are even some. My friend has some expansions for that. So looking forward to replay this again. It's great, and it's quick. Even with 5 players, it was really quick. So that's great. Really liked Seven Wonders. So basically, well, you build up, you draft cards, and then you always pick one card, and it's gonna give you something. Like for example, it gives you resource, or you can get military power, or you can get like a technological advancement, or you can victory points. And basically, all those things will give you victory points at the end, and you try to build an engine. It goes over 3 ages. I don't know how many cards, but it's really fast, and it's a great game. If you like drafting, it's a great game. Then I played Citadels. This was with a group of friends from school that I haven't seen in like 2 years. So that's great. We had some beers and then we played Citadel. So Citadel is an older game where you have like those characters. So you have like 7 different characters. This is like a big box, new with addition characters. But by the base game, you have 7 characters, and you try to build buildings basically that cost coin. And that's the game. You build buildings that cost coin. At the end of the game, when I think it's triggered when somebody has 7 buildings, your city's basically finished, and the one with the most coins wins. Very simple game. The good thing is this character play. So the character play, how does it work? There are 7 characters, and if we play with 5 players, we're gonna take the 7 cards. One card is gonna be discarded at random. Then the first player checks, and he can remove another card, pick one, go on. And then it goes through until everybody has a card. So everybody will have a card, but you don't know exactly what everybody else has. Then you have cards like the assassin's first going to play. The first thing he does, he's killing someone. So the assassin say, okay, I'm going to kill the magician. And the magician, you don't know who it is, but you can try to guess. And then if you are the magician, well, when it's your turn, when we call the magician, well, you're going to say, well, I'm dead, so I can't play this turn. The second one is a thief. The thief, he's going to say, oh, I'm going to steal from the king. And then when it's the king's turn, he will have to give his money to the thief. So, and then you have so the magician is number 3. He takes the cards, so he switches cards. Like if you have only one card back in hand, and you can switch with someone, and he has maybe 4 cards, so you get more cards. You have the king that is becoming the first player to draft the card in the next round. You have the bishop, I think. He gets more stuff for the blue buildings, and he can't be targeted by, so his building can't be destroyed, I think. You have the merchant, he gets more money. You have one guy that destroys, he can destroy, you can actually pay to destroy other buildings from others. And that's the game. That's the game. And it always, every time you change, every round, you just pick a card. When it's your turn, you get 2 coins, and you can either get 2 coins or get a new building, and you try to build a building, and that's what you do. And your card is depending on what your card does. So if you're an assassin, you can say, okay, I want to kill the king because I really think this guy's the king. He picked the king, and I'm pretty sure he's ahead, so I want to kill him so he can play. But maybe he didn't pick the king because he tricked you. It's a cool game. It's a cool game. It's very simple, and I think it's really cool. I played another game of Mini Rogue with my son. He likes this one. So Mini Rogue is a very small exploration game where you have always those 9 cards, and you basically go down. You always reshuffle them, and then this is the levels. So you have like 3 levels. You play this. You do this so 10 times, and at the end there is a boss. So at the end of each level there is a boss, and then there's a final boss at the end. It's a very simple game with rolling dice and stuff like that. It's a cool game, but I think we played it enough. I think I've seen it all, and it's too simple, so we actually never lose. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna sell this one, but it's okay game. We had fun while we discovered it and while we played with the different characters, but we have seen it all, so that's that. We played Bora Bora, which don't remember last time I played that one. It was a while back. This is a cool game. This is an older game from 2013 from Stefan Feld. Visually, it's not the greatest game, but mechanically, it's pretty cool. So you build on your tableau. You actually on your board. You can actually hire like men and women, and they will always trigger in the game. And then what you're gonna do is that you're gonna either you're gonna explore this island, which is gonna give you resources, or let me see if I can get a better picture. So this is your personal board. You have like those spots where you can build this huts. Well, you can put them on the island basically, and then you could put people in here. They are men and women, and those give you you can activate 1 man, 1 woman at the end of every turn, and then you can buy items. There's each end of each round you can try to fulfill a mission. So here you have the missions. So here you can see the missions. Maybe one mission is to have like 3 men, or maybe one mission is to have like 2 times this jewelry, and it's mechanically pretty strong. I think I really like it. Mechanically, it's a pretty good game. There are some cards that you can make you get extra bonuses and stuff like that, or make it easier for you, because the main mechanic is that you have those action spots here. They are on top here. Every time you put a die on here, it's a dice placement game. So you roll dice, you roll 3 dice, and then you put a die on, and then everybody can only put a lower die. So if I start and I really want to mess people up, I can put a 1 here and nobody will do this action anymore. But the lower the number, usually the weaker the action. Or you have less possibilities in the action. So it's a really cool design. It's a really cool design. I like this game. It was a lot of fun. I would gladly play it again. It's a cool game. So that's Bora Bora from Stefan Feld. Then I played with my wonderful neighbors. They told me that they played board games a lot before they had their girl, and then they didn't play that much. So I said, oh, well, let's play a game. And let's start right away with Feast for Odin, right? Because why not? Feast for Odin is a huge worker placement polyomino game. So you have a lot of slots here. and you will place your workers. These are your workers. Each round you will get more and more and more and more workers that you're going to put on the board. You're going to get tiles. You're going to put them on your main island. You will get additional islands. You can get also buildings. They're not actually on this picture. Here there are 3 buildings. You can get the buildings, get more stuff. You get more stuff, more stuff. You can get boats. Then you can do like send them on expeditions so that you actually have to feed less people, because every turn you have to feed. It's a very big game. It's a very complex game, but it's a wonderful game. It's one of my favorite games. A Feast for Odin. It's a big game. We played 3 players. It took a while, but it was great. I love this game. I love this game. There's so much to do. You can do so many different things. It's just a great. If you like worker placement and if you like Polyomino games, this is just a wonderful game. That's a Feast for Odin. That's a 10 for me. Yeah, it's in my top 5 games. Then we played the Red Cathedral. So the Red Cathedral was it was okay. My complaints about the Red Cathedral. So basically, what you do is you're gonna get a resource, and it's this rondel is basically how it works. So you take 1 die, and then you have to move it that many spots based on the number there is there. So if I take this die, I can move it here and just go here, and then based on the number of dice, I get this action a number of times. So the system is pretty cool. And then the color of the die, you can get like bonus that you put on your personal board. Here you have your personal board, and let's imagine I have bonus here. If I use the green die, I will also get the bonus that is depicted here. And what you want to do here is you want to build this cathedral here. So you're gonna grab. So first you have to reserve like those. You can reserve those cards. So you are the only one that can buy there. Then you have to spend all the resources to actually turn it and get all the victory points and the money. That's how the game works. What I didn't like about the game is that at some point we had like it was kind of a stalemate. Like the dice were all in a shitty spot and nobody wanted them. And because basically here it is pretty cool. You have 1, you can go there, you get 2 times the bonus. Or this one, you go here, you get 2 times the bonus. That's pretty cool. Your 6 will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's also going to trigger 2 times. So all those dice are pretty cool. But in sometimes, well, you have like 3 dice on 1 spot that have like 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 next spots are all empty. So it's really bad. And then what you do is you reserve like one of those cards instead of, and let the other play. But what they do exactly the same. They reserve another card. They reserve another card. They reserve, and then it's back your turn. And then you have to do like this weak actions. And the other thing I didn't like about the game is at some point we're reaching a point where the person that will end the game would lose the game. So it was like a battle, and if that person, the one player which was ahead, would have finished the game, I would have had an additional turn and I would have won because of that. And that was really, really, really bad. It felt bad. So that didn't make me like that game that much. It was okay. The concept here is neat, but sometimes it just feels like, yeah, you have only bad plays, and I don't like that. So that's the Red Cathedral. I gave this a 6. Played Ark Nova, probably one of my favorite games of last year. We played 2 two-player games, and it was great. It's fast. You play with those cards. We are basically building your own zoo here. So you're gonna play. First, you're gonna play like with polyominoes. You're gonna put in some enclosures, and then you're gonna get some animals that you're gonna put in the enclosures. They will give you points. So here you get like these tickets. I think it's tickets, which is the currency you will get as many. So you see the numbers here. So if I reach like 12 tickets, I will get 13 currency each year. And how the game ends is when you have this track, and then you have the other track on the other side, which is I don't even know the name of those, but this is the other currency that basically goes up, and this will give you once your 2 markers cross, the game ends. So that's how the game ends. And it's basically a race to get the best engine. It's a cool game. It plays with a lot of cards. There's a huge deck of cards. I really like this game. It's really fun. I can't explain it in detail. It's a big game, but it's really fun, and it's always changing because of the many cards you have. Like you never have two games in a row that are the same. Because in one game maybe you're gonna build like a lot of small animals because you have a card that says, well, when you get small animals early, you maybe get some benefits, and you're gonna try to build a lot of those small animals. And maybe in another game you're gonna only build like I don't know, African animals because you get a bonus of that. So it's a really cool game. I really like it. I actually pre-ordered it in French. We played the English version from a friend of mine, and yeah, it's a great game. Great game. That's Ark Nova. Birmingham. That's actually a game that I played not in February but in January, but I forgot to mention it. It's a cool game from Martin Wallace. It's a game about building basically the industry in Birmingham. So you're gonna build like put some tiles. This is your personal board, and you're gonna put some tiles on the map, and they're gonna grant you victory points and more income and so on. It's a cool game. The system is placed with cards, and actually the card have either a location or a type of industry on them. So if you have a location card, you can do whatever you want on that location. So let's imagine I have this card here with that location name. I can either build one of these, one of these. I don't need to actually have a network connected there. If I have a card which, for example, it's the beer the beer building is on it, I can build the beer building, but only where I'm connected to. So the game plays in two eras. First, you have like those small water things, and you build some boats in between to make the connections. And the second era is the trains. So you build like small trains in between to make the connections or railroads. It's a good game. It's a good game. I like it. Last game, I didn't like it that much for a few reasons. First, it felt really long. The downtime felt really long. I was actually on top here alone, and the three other players were basically below here. Nobody came on top with me at first. So I had all the flexibility I wanted, and I just had like, okay, my turn, ding, 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 done. And then the others, they were like, oh no, you took this. Okay, then I have to change my plans. And it was the downtime was very long. The thing about the game is after every turn, you have like all the money you spent, you're gonna put here, and then you have to count the money, see, okay, you spent that much, so you get you become first player because you spent the least. And there is a first player changing every turn, and then you have to take the income. So everybody gets an income every turn. And then in the middle of the game, you get an era change. And in the era change, there's an intermediate scoring. So we remove all the tiles from the board and we count the points. It felt like too much downtime, at least in the last game. Probably because I was less engaged, because I was alone on the top doing my stuff. There's other things that piss me off. Is like you have the water tiles and you have the train tiles, the train roads. Well, they're not the same. So, for example, in the first era, I can't go here. I can't actually go here because there is only train. And I actually didn't see that, and I did even make a mistake and built here. Even I couldn't. I built some. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. It's maybe thematically it makes sense, but it really adds more to the confusion and the frustration that I had in that game. So, but it's a globally good game. But yeah, last game was not so great. Too much downtime for me. Then we played the Gallerist from Vita Lacerda. I heard a lot of great things. This game is awesome, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not that good. It's okay, but I don't want to play it again. You're going to build an art gallery. Yeah, sure, okay. And you have like 4 action spots you can put your guys down, and you can do one of the 2 actions. You can get people to go to your gallery. There are 3 types of people that can go to your gallery. You can get like contracts with artists. You can ask them to make art for you. You can manipulate the value of your artist, and then you can sell your stuff. And here you get some bonuses. Yeah, that's the game basically. It's not very complicated. but it's not that engaging. It's we played it. All the three of us were at the end of the game like, yeah, well, that's not what we expected. We expected more engaging, more tight. And you're never blocked because basically when you go there, you just push that guy there. So you basically push him there. He gets the bonus action, and you can do whatever action you want. You just have to move all the time. That's all. So you're never blocked in this game. It's yeah, not that great. We played a lot of different sort of game. Well, a lot. My favorite's still On Mars. Well, we'll see what Kanbeni V says next week if we play it, because that's the plan. Let's see. Then I play Role Player with the expansion, because I bought the expansion, which is Monsters and Minions. So Role Player is a dice play manipulation game, dice drafting game. So you are gonna build your character. So this is your character. It's a Dungeon and Dragon character. Like, for example, here this is a Dark Elf Protector Rogue, which is separated, whatever that means. And those things define how you get victory points. It's just about points. And what's special about this game is you start with a bunch of dice, and every time you put a dice down in one of those attributes, you have like strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom. I think there's the last one, charisma. And every time you put a dice down, you get this action. And this action is how you can manipulate your dice to get those statistics that are here, which will grant you victory points. If you get the right color on the right spot, you get a victory point. We don't see it below, but here, actually the protector here, it's a small card that there is just one square in the middle, and you can move it up and down, and you will get victory points. And then there is the market. You can buy items, and you will get victory points. And with the expansion, now you have monsters that are here that you can kill for experience. And with that experience, you can buy new stuff, get new items, get more victory points. And at the end of the game, there's a boss. You need to defeat it to win with the expansion. But then the most damage you do to him, basically, you will get more victory points. And that's the game. It's a puzzle. It's a pure puzzle. The expansion is cool because it adds the monsters, because sometimes the market, there's only crap, or you have no money, and the only thing you could do then is just get rid of one card and get 2 coins. That's it, which was weak and felt weak. And now with fighting the monster, that's pretty cool, because they always give you like coins as bonuses. So it's pretty cool system. And then they added those dice, which are like, they have no color, but they go up to 8, I think. So this is also cool in the expansion. So that's the game. It's a puzzle. If you like puzzle with dice, and you're like, if I do this, I put this one here, then I can flip this die, and next turn I'm going to move this die so that it goes up here, because then I have the right color in the right spot, and I have a total of 17. Oh shit, I forgot. There is here -2. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh no, what did I do? I fucked up here. No, sorry. So it's a great game. It's a great game. There are a lot of different characters, a lot of different cards like this, a lot of different classes, and a lot of this background story, I think they call it, which you mix up, which makes every game a little bit different. It's still the same game, but it makes it a little bit different. It's cool. I like it. I think I rate this an 8. Yeah, that's a cool puzzle game if you like puzzle game. So with my friends, I played Citadel. We also played this game, which is called Ivanhoe. I don't know. It's called Camelot in French. So I don't. Yeah, well, actually, you see it here, Camelot. So this game is a game where everybody gets cards, and then you can try to start a battle. And when you start a battle, you play, like, for example, I start a yellow battle, so I put a yellow card down, and then the next one has to go higher. So if I have a value 2, so he has to put values of yellow cards a value 2 or higher, so always higher, so he has to put 3. Maybe he has a 3, he just puts 3. Next guy goes, he can skip and draw a card, or he can just say, okay, I put a 4, and so on and so on. And once you won 4 battle of 4 different colors, you win. The white cards are jokers, and then the green cards are there only once, and the purple cards are very high value, so each combat is a little bit different. It's a very simple game. It's nice when you play with friends that don't play games usually. It's nice. I think it's actually from Rainer Knizia. It was cool. We had fun. Then we played a little bit bigger game, Brazil Imperial. So let's open this one. Yeah. So Brazil Imperial is a game about exploration and you're building. So you have your city hall here where you start, and then you're gonna build up like explore with your guys, and you're gonna build like different kinds of production buildings they will produce. Then you can produce the goods, and then you can use the goods to produce other buildings and so on. And then there is a little bit of you have a few units you can build on the board, and they can go out and fight. It felt like it did a little bit of everything, but not enough of anything. So the buildings, there are actually 4 buildings you can build in H1, and then there's another 4 in H2, and then another 2 in H3. So a total of 10 buildings, which is nice. But in the end, you start the game here. This, I think I bought 1 building, and those are maybe 2, 3. The main was those, and yeah, I was building a little bit, but not that much. And then the combat didn't feel good. We almost did no combat at all. At some point there was one guy hanging around it next to my area, so I attacked him just to get rid of him, because I didn't know what his plan was. And just by doing that, I actually delayed his plans, and I won by 1 point or something. It felt like everybody did the same thing. Maybe I want to play it again without water, because I felt like the water is actually punishing you. You can't really easily go from one. Well, it wasn't this map, but we had water in the middle as well, and you couldn't easily go from expand. Like, you cannot expand next to your neighbor because there's water in between, and so it's not easy to do. So maybe we could play another game, but I'm not sure if we're gonna keep this game. I think it's already on the sell list. Then we played Gutenberg. It's a game about you are going to actually. That's not what I want to show, is it? Yeah. So you're gonna. Well, it's about printing, the first printing first. So you will get some letters like this, and you have some contracts which consist in letters and colors, and they will give you bonuses. You have like wheels that you can put down here that will give you bonuses, and then here you have special contracts that will also give you bonus at the end of the game. The cool system is, well, you have here your different areas where you increase basically your skill in these areas. And the cool things I actually want to show you is, so this is the skills. So you can increase your skills in like how good your letters are, how good your color is, how good your paper is. I don't know exactly what those are, it doesn't matter. But what I wanted to show you is how you actually get your workers. So there are like some workers, and you have like those 5 actions that I showed you on the main screen, and then how you define who can go first on an action. That's the neat part of the game, which of course there is no, and that's it. So you have a small tile like this, and you get those black cubes, and when you're the first player, you get less cubes than the last player. So the last player, if you're a 4-player game, the last player has like 3 cubes more than you. So if you want to do every action, you don't need to, but if you want to, you need to at least put 5 cubes just here, and you have only 2 to manipulate if you're a first player, because you have only 7. So you can say, okay, I put a force of 3 in colors because I really need colors, and then everybody's gonna reveal. So that's hidden, and then everybody's gonna reveal, and then we're gonna see, okay, who has for the first action, who has the most cubes. Okay, everybody just put 1. So then it's in turn order. Because I'm first player, I will be first, and then we do it in turn order. Then the second one, I really wanted it, but maybe some guy really wanted it more, and he put like 5 cubes. Then the turn order doesn't matter. He has more cubes, he starts. And when you're last player, well, if you have the same number of cubes, you will always be last, but you have more cubes, so you can have more control of what you really want to get. So that system is pretty cool. I really like that one. So this was a good game. I would play it again. It was a good game. It has some neat system. The wheels, you see them here. I'm not a huge fan of it because it's like, well, I would have to actually check everything every time to see, okay, what will I get next turn, because the system is cool, but it's not for my brain. So that's Gutenberg. I really enjoyed this game. We played another game of Tabannusi. Already talked about it last time. It's a cool game. Still, I like it. I still do not like that much the fact that you have to actually use stuff from other players, and the other players have to use stuff that you do. It's a mechanism I don't like those plans that you put down here. The enemies can come and build on it because it's cheaper for them if they build on your plans, but then you get a bonus. So, and you have to be very careful because those dice define where they can go afterwards. So what I did, I came to this middle island, first turn, I built 2 plants. Great. I think I built even 3 plants. I don't even remember. But I built a bunch of plants there. And then I didn't realize that here there was only a bunch of trees. So I took the 1 die that could get me out of there. But then there was like 4 trees. So that means the guy that would go here would be stuck because the die defined where you go next. Well, if you have only trees and this is the tree, you always go back to the same area. And that's why nobody went there and uses my plants. And I didn't see that. I didn't pay attention to that at the early stage of the game. So you have to be very careful. Otherwise, it's a very cool game. It has neat systems. I like it. But it's not an easy game. What's the weight on this? Yeah, 3.86. It's not an easy game. That's Tabannusi. Played some Kingdomino with the family. That was cool. It's always cool. You put some tiles, and the strongest the tile you take, well, basically the latest you're going to be to pick in the next year, in the next round. So it's a cool game. I like it. I played Calico. I wanted to try it, just to try it. I'm not a fan of abstract game. This is a purely abstract game. And then people say, this is a gorgeous game. It looks wonderful. So look at this. In what universe does that look wonderful? I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but this is just a bunch of colors and patterns that don't match. It's just ugly. It's just ugly. The game overall is okay. I didn't like it as a filler game. Pick Cascadia over this 100 times, or a flip and write, roll and write game. They're just better. The only thing that's cool is this box. I like cats. These cats look cool. I like this. But yeah, not a great game. Then we played a game of Hippocates. So that's a game that was done by Alain Orban, which I met last year in the Expert Game Award, which is an award, Belgium award, where they basically reward one of the best expert games of the year. And Alain Orban was showing this off, and we met him, and he's super nice, and I defeated him. And we played this. So it's a cool game where you're gonna basically take some patients in your hospital, basically. So you're gonna take patients in, then you're gonna try to cure them by hiring doctors and getting some medicine, and the combination of doctors, medicine is gonna cure the patient. So let me maybe zoom in here, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So for example here, so this is a patient. Those are doctors. So this doctor here can cure stuff with these 2 colors, and he can cure a maximum of 2 patients. This doctor can only use the blue potions, and he can also cure 2 patients. So this patient here seems that he needs all that to be cured. He's really, really sick. So you need those 2 doctors because you need the 3 colors to cure him. But then he probably gives you a bunch of victory points and a bunch of money. Every time your patient is healed, he gives you victory points and money. And every time a doctor has fulfilled his mission, so basically healing all the patients, he gives you victory points and money. That's the game. The game plays, there's a cool system where you basically depending on where you go, it's going to define the turn order for the next action you do. So if you go here early, you will be next. For the next round, you will be first. But there are less and less patients, so you have, I think, 3 rounds each year. So we get patients, And the patient also gives you bonuses based on that. And there are some dices here. Sometimes some patients are not available, so you need to use like your assistants. It's a nice game. It's really good. I liked it. I liked playing it. I bought it because Aleobo is a great guy, and I really wanted to have his game. So that was Hippocates. Then we played a game of Tawantinsuyu with 4 players, and it was actually pretty fast. So this is a game from David Turci, I think. It's a game about, I have no idea what the game is about. You're basically doing stuff on a huge map. I don't know what it is about really, but it's a great game mechanically. So mechanically, it's a great game. So you always place workers. You have this huge map, and you see here there are these symbols, and you're gonna play cards that are matching these symbols, so you can go there. And then there are the workers. Those are not the player cards. Those are different types of workers. So like the red worker, he can fight off and basically grab one of the other workers' bag. The yellow worker, if he's the first to go down an area here, he will get an additional action, I think. The white worker is a priest. I think you can pay to get an additional action. And then you have the blue and the green. There are actually some blue and green spots that you can go here. If you go there, you get an additional action. And the actions you get are always the symbols that are around here. So you get resources and stuff like that. You can get... this is again resource. You can build some buildings. Here are the buildings that can produce in somewhere. And then you have your priest in the middle that can turn around here to get other kind of actions in the game. There's also some sort of kind of fighting where you can get basically the most. You need a lot of fighters to get in those spots. So here, the more fighters you put in there, the higher the spot you get. And then you get a bunch of victory points. And the best thing out of these tapestry cards. So these tapestry cards, you can get them and you can put different ones in a row. And if the symbol matches that is in next to each other, so for example, here it's 3 victory points. Well, you don't really see it, but this actually means every time you trigger your tapestries, which is at the end of each year, I think that's 3 years, or there's some action like here, this one, which will trigger tapestry. Then you can actually, no, it's this one that triggers tapestry, whatever. You can get the bonuses, and it's a cool system. We played a game with 4 players. I was in the back of the victory point markers whole game, but then I had tapestry, and in the end I triggered them so many times. I just came back in for the win. That was great. Felt great. It's a really good game. It's really intimidating when you look at the board. But then in the end, it's not very complicated. I feel like, well, I haven't played it that much, but now I felt really confident when I played it the last time. So it's a cool game. And that's Tawantinsuyu. I'm wondering, I think I'm going to give this one an 8 because I think it deserves an 8. It's really cool. That's Tawantinsuyu. And that's all the physical games I played. I played some games of Star Realms. Star Realms is always cool. I like it. You play out cards. It's a deck builder. You build some ships. You try to get the thing to combo off. You play more cards, and it's great. It's fun. It's fast. Star Realms. And I played a game of Terraforming Mars, which I played online, which again, it's one of my favorite games. I played a lot of my favorite games this month. This is pretty cool. So Terraforming Mars is a card game where there's a huge pile of cards, and you're gonna play cards to increase your production, increase your money income, and then the goal is to move basically the game ends when you move the temperature to the maximum, where you have the oxygen to a maximum, and when you have like 9 ocean tiles that you put on the main board, and that's it. And the goal is, well, the most victory points wins. And it's a engine builder, so you build up cards, put them on there on your side of the area, and then they will combo together and give you benefits together and so on. It's a really cool game. The only thing is that the bot is really bad. I mean, I played against two bots in hard, and I won by 60 points. I think I had 120, they had like 60. I don't know, those guys are really bad at developing AI. But the game is awesome. So that's Terraforming Mars. Yep, and that's it for the month. Yeah, I'm looking forward to try some new games next month. We already played one new game yesterday, which was mobile markets, the follow-up to Smartphoning. And yeah, maybe some Kanban EV and maybe some food chain magnet coming up. So that's going to be cool. And that's going to be for next month. So yeah, enjoy your months and bye-bye.